Okay, as can be imagined, the mainstream media continues to demonize the carnivore diet. They don't like it. They don't like the fact that people are getting healthy. They'll make out that it is dangerous. So this article entitled "The Carnivore Diet: What Eating Only Meat Does for Your Health," a nutritionist explains. The nutritionist is named Dr. Wendy Hall, who is apparently a registered dietitian. She goes on to describe, the meat-only diet is similar to the ketogenic diet, and it's gone viral, and basically it excludes plant material, which is effectively what it does. And they say that advocates contend that substances or toxins in plants can be causative for disease, which they can. And then they talk about, the authors of carnivore diet books. Now, she doesn't name anybody name. Now, as you guys may or may not know, I basically came up with the name The Carnivore Diet for this style of eating, wrote the original book, The Carnivore Diet, which has done quite well, by the way. I'm glad to see that people have benefited from that. And they say that we think it can help with obesity and chronic disease, which it can. And then they would say, what can you expect? Well, you're going to eat you're going to eat meatballs and this and that. And then this is where, they talk about people will note that they have improvements in weight management, heart and metabolic health, superior cognitive function, lower inflammation, better digestive function, and resolution of autoimmune disease, all of which have happened for sure. There's no doubt about that. And then she goes on to say, but the side effects of these are bad breath, constipation, diarrhea, headaches, dehydration, other symptoms associated with being in the state of ketosis, which may or may not be the case on a carnivore diet. Some people are in ketosis, some are not. And the body uses up all its glycogen stores, which we do refill. You refill your glycogen stores even on a ketogenic diet, even on a carnivore diet. That's been well documented that your glycogen can be topped off without too much difficulty. And then they talk about, it's high in certain vitamins, which it is. And then they talk about, well, it may be low in certain other vitamins, which it also is. And then she goes on to talk about, however, and this is a UK nutritionist apparently, the Eat Well Guide, which I believe is a UK thing, recommends consuming 5 80-gram portions of fruit and vegetables per day, the 5 a day thing, which basically has no scientific basis whatsoever. That's totally an arbitrarily made up amount. 5 a day is completely, I think Zoe Harcom has done a nice expose on where that came from. It was literally just, they pulled it out of their ass. There's no 5 a day is nothing that has any science behind it other than general epidemiologic studies where they note that people that eat a cleaner whole food diet tend to do better than other people, which is so easily confused or confounded with the healthy user bias as to be almost meaningless. I think all these epidemiologic studies, whether they support meat eating or not, are basically wasteful. Now people, well, Dr. Baker, you post videos of people talking about epidemiology studies and showing me. I post that to show that there's another side of this, not to say this is a definitive conclusion, but it's very, very much unknown. And that's why you have to do your own experiment, quite honestly. She goes on to say that there is evidence from randomized control trials show that plant foods rich in soluble fiber low LDL cholesterol and therefore it saves everybody's lives and stuff like that. And again, that is very much a contentious topic. Now, I know that has been the quote-unquote consensus opinion. Not really. There's been a significantly loud and growing louder dissenting voice talking about, is LDL cholesterol the most important factor when it comes to atherosclerotic disease? Certainly it does play a role, but is it the whole thing? And I think certainly that's not the case. Now, there's certainly a lot of other factors that go into developing cardiovascular disease, diabetes probably being the largest factor, systemic inflammation, other things triglycerides have a role here, smoking, of course, has a role, family history, obesity, all these things wrapped together. And then there's the argument being made that, elevation in LDL cholesterol when everything else is good and normal may not be as risky as elevations of LDL cholesterol when everything is going haywire, like the average American we see with heart disease. Most of the people that have heart attacks have variable levels of LDL, some high, some low, some medium. But they do in common often share a lot of metabolic disturbance, which would be often fixed by a carnivore style diet. Okay, and so my favorite, and this is the whole reason I put this study out there, that the problem here is they say that regardless of the potential long-term to healthy life expectancy, which is unknown and likely completely speculative, and not counting the fact that people get healthy, they say that this is the ultimate human, or the ultimate selfish act. The ultimate selfish act is to eat a diet that provides you good health. That is being selfish. Now, if you live in Canada, you can just succumb to chronic disease, and hell, they'll just offer to kill you, right? They'll offer their assisted, medically assisted death. That's, and other countries are following suit. I think the Netherlands has quite a high rate as well. So it's the ultimate selfish act to want to be healthy, right? For the environment, because you're causing climate change, which is total BS. This whole ruse that cows are causing climate change is complete garbage. Even if you are a strong supporter in man-made climate change, you have to look at the data and see that cows are a minimally significant portion of that. And the fact that they provide us food and tremendously good nutrition, which we have to exist as a species. There's no saving the planet by starving every human being. It doesn't make sense, right? And so these people would rather you be sick and ill to save the planet. And if you don't want to be sick and ill to save the planet, then you are a selfish bastard, and you deserve, maybe you deserve medically assisted suicide down the road when your chronic disease becomes so bad. I've seen people with multiple sclerosis, wheelchair bound, with rapidly declining quality of life, and that generally leads to respiratory failure and death. Reverse that. Get out of their wheelchair. Start walking again. Start having a life, going back to school, getting a job again. I literally have people in my community that have done that. And these idiots are out here telling you, oh, it's selfish. It's selfish to want to be healthy. Fuck you, right? That's what I have to say to this nutritionist. And I'd be happy to say that to her face if she had the courage to confront me about the fact that we're helping people every day by changing their nutrition. And yes, it's an animal-based diet. So too goddamn bad. And I hope all of you will fight for this, because we need to. All right. You guys have a great day. Except for the people that want us to eat bugs. You guys have a shitty day. Talk to you later.